From New York, we come back to Africa, and one of our top stories, and that's the blaze that ripped through one of the IEC offices in the DRC and destroyed a lot of material and vehicles included in that. And to tell us a little bit more about what might have happened there, we're joined in studio by African Affairs analyst Izak Khomo. Thanks very much for joining us, and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
You know, so close to the election, a week away, people will raise questions about burning down an election office in the capital.
Well, you see, I mean, people are talking about that's the work of the government, you know. But I mean to say that we've got to be very open, very careful, because basically the opposition are not happy about the electoral system, especially about the biometric machines, the electronic machines. They're complaining about them. So you could see that there was even reason for the opposition itself, supporters, to burn it down. But you find that both sides of the balance, you know, they're not happy, and then they're trying to sort of sabotage whatever it is. So we've got to be very careful in that. Unless we actually get the real proof, we should not apportion blame.
But for, you know, for an outsider looking in, you'd think a week away from the elections, a building such as this would be subject to pretty tight security. So would have to be people who know their way around or are working with people inside.
Yeah, the people inside basically is the Electoral Commission. And the Electoral Commission, basically, another thing that people do not know, the Electoral Commission of the DRC is dominated by the opposition. And that's the thing that people don't know. With the other election, the past election which took place, yeah, they actually reformed the whole Electoral Commission. It was actually representative according to the political parties, and it was dominated by the opposition. And everything has been going on. Basically, the fault has been with the Electoral Commission, but people are blaming it on the government.
So who might be behind this when you start balancing probabilities?
Well, I would not know. I'm not a judge. I'm in South African law. You can give a judgment on the probabilities. No, that's very dangerous.
Okay, who's got the most to gain if this election is derailed?
In fact, if most of the elections derail, I mean, the people who have got most things to gain, it's actually the opposition. In fact, members of the opposition, people like the M23, they've actually said it openly about 3-4 months ago that they're going to sabotage and they're going to launch an armed struggle against opposition, against the election. The opposition say they're not happy with the electronic machines. They've said so openly, and they say so even here when they bring their representatives. They say they're not happy. And even some of them have called for the postponement of the elections. This is a call which comes from the opposition. You remember that the opposition are the ones who wanted the elections to take place as soon as possible. But now they're saying that the country is not ready. These things have got to be postponed. Now, with all those narratives coming from the opposition and the government action and the suspicion, who could be behind this?
With the Electoral Commission being attacked a week away from polls, can people have confidence that the polls, if they do go ahead, can be free and fair?
Well, the polls could be free and fair. I mean to say that at least whatever happens, it will reflect the will of the people. Yeah, it will remember that the DRC people, they cannot be easily bamboozled. That's the thing that people forget. In the first multi-party elections, the party which was actually sort of on the front line, even at the Sun City peace talks, it was RCD Goma. In fact, they actually sort of mishandled those talks. They had a caveat for everything that was put forward by the government or by the civil societies. But when it came to the elections, people forget that the RCD Goma party hardly even got 2% of the national vote. Yeah, that's why when they're supposed now to change themselves into a political party, having less than 2% support, they maintain their military status, which today is the M23. Yeah, that is because they do not have the support. And also Kabila, he cannot play around with those elections. With the biometrics, you cannot. See, the biometrics are the best things which can actually come up against fraudulent use.
So why would the opposition, if they're confident about winning their vote, be wanting to destroy these biometric machines?
When I say they're not happy with the biometric machines.
Why are they not happy with that?
No, they said so because they say the Constitution definitely talks about about electoral, the
Can they
electoral
be
vote.
manipulated?
Yeah. Which one? The biometrics?
Yes.
They can be manipulated, but when you manipulate a biometric machine, like the Kenyans, it's easy to find out where the fiddle took place. In fact, number one, it is the cheapest. A country like the DRC, where you've got about 100 odd political parties and about 100 odd, in fact, 5,000 odd candidates, yeah, you find that the ballot paper is in 4, 5, 6, 7 pages, yeah. But the cheapest and the one which is easiest to control, it is the biometric, anywhere in the world. And if you fiddle with it, you can actually trace, with an audit, can actually come up and trace the fiddling. So basically, that's the best. But now people are not happy. They're actually saying that the Constitution says the thing has got to be an electoral ballot. Yeah. But that's it. But you should remember that the opposition were calling for the elections to be postponed. Yes.
All right. With this environment that's prevailing, I mean, it was just a few days ago that supposedly the opposition were attacked. And I just wonder, is this coincidental? Can we join the dots here, or are these independent events?
You know, the opposition was attacked in Lubumbashi. Well, I'm not going to be a supporter of whatever it is. Yeah. Basically, there are feelings on both sides. The opposition was attacked. In fact, when you first got the report, it said that our man Martin Fayulu was actually shot and was critically injured. Yeah, but it actually transpired that he was gassed. Yeah, it was actually sort of it was the gas thing there, which actually caught up with him. But now that's the problem now. I mean, to say that he's got such big support, maybe, I'm not saying anything, that there were crowds were actually surging forward and they're out of control, and the people there, the police, must have tried to actually sort of control the people, because they're on their way to the stadium. But people were actually running with the motorcade. So basically, I would not like to say that that thing was planned, the government is doing that. But it's very hard for the government to actually come, for the police in a place like Lubumbashi to come and gas the people, because Lubumbashi, it is the headquarters of Moise Katumbi. Even the police, they all support him. Everybody supports him. So if anything took place, it was not against the candidate, it was actually crowd control.
Okay, we've run out of time, but one final question. The elections will happen, supposedly.
Yeah.
Is that going to solve DRC's problems? Because there are parts of the country, even now as we're speaking, where there's rebel activity, and some would even say there's states of anarchy in parts of DRC.
Yeah, that's a very good question. You see, the state of anarchy in the DRC, it has been forced on the DRC from the time when the Izak Khomo actually lost the elections. Yeah, there were some external forces which have actually made sure that there was be a state of non-governance. Yeah, but DRC is so big. Yeah, that country is huge. The state of anarchy is taking place in the eastern DRC and also in the Kasai province. The rest of the country, which has got over 3/4 of the population, is stable. So that the state of anarchy can actually sort of take place in these two areas. But whatever is going to come out is going to reflect the will of the people. But again, you should actually know that there are external forces which are actually going destabilizing. Even this thing of saying that the ADF is attacking this and ADF is attacking that, the Ugandan rebel movement, I would like to be put on record that it is not a Ugandan rebel movement. The ADF that they're talking about is actually M23 special forces, which have been specially trained in Uganda and Rwanda. Those guys, when they attacked the Tanzanians, they attacked them at 6 o'clock when it was dead dark, it was getting dark. And they managed to fight the Tanzanians up to early morning. They had night sight. The Tanzanians did not have it. The DRC army does not have it. It's only two armies that have it. It is the it is the Ugandan and the Rwandan forces. And they got that from the CIA special forces. And on top of that, those ADF guys, they jammed the Tanzanian communication. The Tanzanians couldn't call for assistance until the guys were actually flown out. Now, an ADF ragtag army, Ugandan ragtag army, where do they have the technological means of fighting that? People have long said that these are special forces masquerading as the ADF, and that's what it is.
Okay, so number of theories you're bringing to the fore, and there's a week to go to these elections. It'll be a long week, it looks like. Let's hope that they do get through peaceful elections and they start rebuilding the country a bit more. But you're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. Izak, always a pleasure talking to you. I have no doubt we'll be chatting again next week. Thanks so much for your time.
I'm there.
All right, we're going to leave the world of politics and